Patricia Altschul, I mean, we have the matriarch, the grande dame of Southern Charm here today. Take a seat, people. You know, this blast from the past chat never before released. Patricia Altschul, that's right. We have the grande dame, the matriarch of Southern Charm here with us today. You know, this From the Vault series has it has legs actually. So everyone seemed to love. Who did we have from the vault? We had Juicy Joe, Kathryn Dennis, Claudia Jordan, Jackie Goldschneider. Well, today we have a from the vault, Patricia Altschul. Never, and I mean never before heard chat with Patricia Altschul. Never before heard. The only people that have heard this are me and Patricia and maybe Whitney, because he was in the room. He was coming and going in the house. I mean, Whitney's got to do what he's got to do. Other than me and Patricia, and probably Whitney, no one has heard this chat. This was recorded not even so long ago, but at a prior time before her beloved butler passed away, Michael. So, RIP Michael. He was such a huge part of the show. We talk about that. We talk about Kathyrn. We talk about Cameran Eubanks. Anyone want Cam back as much as I do? Obviously, we talk about the boys. We talk about JT, but Craig and Austen and Shep. And the show is just so different now, right? We have Southern hospitality. So this was recorded. This is a from the vault, never before heard. My voice is cracking. Never before heard chat with Patricia Altschul. I have wanted Patricia on this podcast for decades. I haven't even done this for decades. I've only done this for years. I think I've wanted her on the podcast for about 6 years since my second episode. So we are continuing this. Seems to be a hit. This from the vault. This is never before been heard. A chat with Patricia Altschul recorded at a prior time. So kick back, relax, and enjoy this chat with, I think, the best cast member of Southern Charm, Miss Patricia Altschul. Yes, trust me, as I get older, I see shifts happening. I mean, to be honest with you, I spend when I'm not working per se, and I don't have to be in LA or New York, I kind of spend the most time in the Hamptons. Like I come to LA for work, I come to New York for work. And then I'm just like, you go there and you're like, oh, this is so peaceful. You just kind of forget about the hecticness of other places. That's how Charleston is.
It's paradise. It really is. But I was thinking more tax based than
That
anything else.
that too. Like Florida is great for taxes. Then you have to spend a certain number of days in Florida, but eventually, yes.
Yeah, but you have that. No, Florida and South Carolina, I mean, we're a banana republic. So if this is your primary residence, and you've got all these other houses, nobody would ever check.
I have to look into this. Because yes, as you know, Florida.
Come down when we're shooting, you'd get a kick out of it because we give these big parties that people come to, and you can see reprobates in action.
Oh, there's nothing that I would enjoy more, trust me. A few more very quick questions before we wrap up. I thought, because, look at Olivia lost her brother, during the last season. So did Taylor. But it did seem like most everyone rallied around these two women. So to me, it really does seem, despite all this drama, that everyone really is there for each other when real life stuff happens for the most part, kind of like a family.
Yes, I think that's true. I think that's very true. Yes, I mean, it's a terrible thing. And when Thomas Ravenel's father died, the guys went to the funeral, even though they hadn't seen Thomas in 3 or 4 years, whatever it was. Yeah, I think that's very true. The two girls, I mean, that was two terrible tragedies. And everybody was supportive, and Olivia's happened during the shooting, which made it even more difficult for her, and I think also contributed to her kind of temperamental, volatile. I mean, it was hard for her to do. I mean, I excuse any and everything that happened to her. People said, oh, she was mean or this and that. I think that it was just a difficult time and she should be excused for everything. And Taylor's brother passed away after shooting. So you don't see that or, you know, have any association with that. But yes, it is like a family and everybody cares about everybody else, even though it may not seem that way during shooting, but that's very true.
Olivia did have a lot of this, you know, meanness during the season, but I still think when all is said and done and you watch the reunion and now we moved on or we're waiting for season 10, I still think Taylor is the one that emerges as the villain, the new Kathryn Dennis, if you will, from the season.
You're not the first person that said that. Yeah. She was kind of Jekyll and Hyde, and she didn't have the benefit of well, I won't say benefit. She wasn't in the same situation as Olivia at that time because her brother passed away after the reunion. Sadly.
Do you want, you know, you mentioned that Whitney, you think is going to be the first to settle down out of the guys. Do you want grandchildren? Are you like waiting anxiously for Whitney to have a child?
I am, as long as I don't have to take care of it. I just want to look at it.
Well, listen, your search for the new butlers is in motion, so maybe that person can assist in taking care of it.
Well, I mean, he can have a nanny. Whitney can afford to have a nanny. I said something to him one time because our gay friends here have children. You know, you can do it by surrogacy and they're yours, but you know, by surrogate. He looked at me as if I was insane. He didn't even bother when there were spots. He just gave me that look and turned on his heel and left. But he would, I mean, he acts grumpy around the animals, like he's always bitching and moaning about having to clean up with, but he really is very tender and sweet. He sleeps with them. You know, I'll see him carrying Peaches around. He would make a great father.
Listen, it's almost time, maybe. As we wrap up, you know, you said that you think Whitney has grown the most. You said, you know, you think Kathryn's the one that maybe could use your advice the most. So I just wanted to ask you, like, what advice, you know, would you give Kathryn? Because her life does seem like it has gotten off track. Like you're going to write a book, you know, with Taylor Swift's book publisher. You are so good at listen, if I need life advice, I'm going to be calling you, Patricia. Like I'll come down for a party and all, but you're the one that I would turn to for life advice. So what advice would you give to
I'm down
Kathryn?
here. I'm ready.
Let's do it. You could have your gin martini. I'll have my vodka martini. But what advice would you give to Kathryn?
Go to rehab. Finish college. In that order.
That's good advice. You know, I mean, she has gone to rehab, but you think that should be the first thing she does is going back.
There's rehab and then there's rehab. I would not go to Malibu to rehab. If I wanted to, you know, if I wanted to meet celebrities, I'd go to, you know, Promises in Malibu or wherever she went. No, I think a serious rehab. And then I would concentrate on a career, education, life changes. But that's advice for everybody, you know.
That's
And
good advice.
fun. Listen, I have friends. I'll fly. A friend of mine's having a party in London. I'd fly over for it, but I'm not going to drink until, you know, I can't remember what happened. At BravoCon, I was sitting, and I love Shep. I really have a good time with Shep, but he was the first two rows of the BravoCon you can call it the spectacular that Andy filmed for Watch What Happens. All of the Bravo participants were in the first two rows all the way across the auditorium. And I was next to Captain Lee. It was Captain Lee, me, Madison, and then the Married to Medicine, they were sitting in front of us. And then to this side were the guys, and then Vanderpump Rules. And Shep was on the end. And he was up and down, hugging people, leaving in the middle of it. And he threw his program, which hit me in the head. I mean, he was literally out of control. That's why Andy called him.
So you could tell there that he was like three sheets to the wind.
He was three sheets to the wind. And Captain Lee turned, because they were both right on the end. Captain Lee at one point turned to Shep, and there were three people filming us, you know, at each section there were three cameramen. And Captain Lee said, "Get it together, Shep." But he was, you know, all over the place, turning around, talking, waving, hugging people. He came over when he saw that he had hit me with the program. He didn't hurt or anything, but he came over and hugged